Welcome to Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC Anime Universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And it's episode 25.
We did it.
We just realized this exact moment.
Yeah.
As I was preparing to start the announcement.
I was going to try and plan something fun and interesting for this episode, but we don't. So it'll just be a normal episode, and maybe we'll do something cool for like 30, 50,
or 35. Or maybe we should just pick some random number and do something very special for that instead.
Let's go. What was Nightwing's like secret agent number?
Oh, when he's
like
Spiral?
47?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I have no clue. I need to read those comics. I haven't.
Neither have I.
But I mean, so we don't have anything particularly special. But hey, we have the Riddler's back, and the Penguin's back.
I don't know if you realize
characters.
this, but Batman is a dick in these episodes.
Oh my
Just
God,
a
it really
straight
is,
up
though.
like in past episodes we've seen him like being a little bit compassionate to his villains, and like I always compare it to, I think the most compassionate moment between a hero and his villains in this world is in Justice League when we see Flash interacting with the Trickster.
Yeah.
When he just is a helping hand, and like he understands Trickster has these mental problems. He's like, okay, you can finish your milk, but you have to go back to not Arkham, but
Blackgate?
Blackgate afterwards. Or Trickster's like, oh, you caught me again, Flash. And like that nice warm moment between a hero and a villain where he's trying to help. That is the exact opposite of what we have. This week.
Well, that's also the Flash, who is generally a nice guy, and Batman, who kind of prides himself on being an asshole.
Right. I mean, there's a couple villains we see him try and help. Like he tried to help Clayface a bit.
Yeah,
he
a
helped
little bit.
Man-Bat. He's also
he has
a
real
sympathy
dick to
for Freeze. Yeah. Well, that's because he gave him the antidote, and then Man-Bat. He thought Man-Bat was just like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna get Bat again.
Well, I will say though,
I'd be kind of upset too. It's like you have
he has a moment, as we'll get to it, as Bruce, then it says Batman, where he's kind of sympathetic to the Penguin. I think that's actually a genuine, moment. But before we get there, we thought we'd actually talk about some relevant and relatively recent Batman news.
Yeah, it came out this morning.
Today, so this is on Thursday recording. This coming on Tuesday. But all the rumors about Matt Reeves not wanting to direct the Batman, turns out not true. He is officially directing the Batman. How do you feel about that?
I forgot to research this. What else did he
Okay, so Matt Reeves, he did. He got a start in Felicity back in the day with J.J. Abrams.
Okay.
So then he did Cloverfield. He did Let Me In, which is the remake of Let the Right One In. Which I've seen the original, not the remake. And then he did Dawn, and then soon to be War of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay. That's
so
fine.
the only thing of his I've seen is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is really good.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah. So I think, competent
that's
choice.
The first one, right?
It's second one. It's Rise, Dawn, and then the third one coming out soon is War. So
they need to make it easier for me and just like add on to the original title. So the second one is like, what was it?
It was Rise.
Right. So Rise of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my God. Just keep adding more ofs.
Yeah. War. Yeah. So then in movie theaters, like it'll just be an entire panel of just that movie.
Rise of the Dawn.
Yeah. Like think of the marketing. It'd be so easy to market that.
I know. It'd be just the simplest
You couldn't
thing.
fit any other movie at a movie on a movie theater board.
You'll get
you have one movie to see.
One tiny little picture of like Caesar in the corner, and the rest of it is all just text.
Yeah.
As we now get into the third one.
Well, it's Caesar like reading it because he's sentient
It's
now.
gonna take him a long time to get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's fine.
Yeah. Do we have a writer? I forgot.
There hasn't been any change on who's writing. So I think last we heard it was, I thought it was still Jeff Jones and Ben Affleck were writing it. I don't know if that's changed. Luckily, I have the DC Anime Universe wiki up. Oh, Chris Terrio has also been brought on board, and he wrote Argo, which is really good. So
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one at this point. Like, this kind of feels like they had to bring in someone to direct it rather than someone being a driving force behind it.
Right. Which I think we talked about this before about how DC or how Marvel is good about picking directors because it's kind of directors kind of choose what they want to do almost.
Yeah, and so I don't know if I mentioned this to you on the podcast or elsewhere, but I had this idea popped ahead. I'm like, wait, have more directors dropped out of DCEU films than made them? It is true.
Good.
I got the full list here because so Seth Graham-Smith and Rick, Famuyiwa, I don't.
I'm closer than what I would try and say.
I'm sorry, Rick. I can't pronounce your last name.
We know he's an avid listener.
Yeah, they were going to do The Flash. Michelle McLaren was going to do Wonder Woman. I forgot.
She was the one that pitched the idea of a talking tiger sidekick, right?
Was that? I missed that bit of
There
craziness.
was one of the directors they turned her down because she was trying to pitch a talking tiger sidekick.
That may have been the reason then. So maybe we'll let that one slide if that was the case. I forgot about this. Guillermo del Toro was going to do Justice League Dark.
I'd be down for that.
Dark Justice or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's out. It looks like maybe Doug Liman would be in. I like Doug Liman a lot, but I just don't know if that combination of director and material quite works. Doug Liman did the Firstborn, Born Identity. He did. It has its moments. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He did Edge of Tomorrow, which is great.
Yay!
I love Edge of Tomorrow.
I watched that last week.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so good.
I don't know if that fits.
No, not at all. Del Toro is much better
perfect.
with that
yeah,
style.
like Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, and then of course Ben Affleck has dropped out of Batman. So that comparison to Snyder, David Ayer, and Patty Jenkins are the three who have actually made movies for the DCEU. So far, James Wan has still been on board with Aquaman for quite some time, so I think that's going to stay put.
Yeah, I like him.
And then, of course, part of the news today was that Chris McKay of Lego Batman is going to direct a Nightwing movie.
Yeah, a spinoff. Which means we're going to have Robin or Nightwing in the Batman movie.
I would imagine that would make sense for him to be in there.
Because you can't have a spinoff without...
Yeah. And
at least announcing the character.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I guess one way of looking at it is they brought on board a director who knows Batman and who has done the best on-screen version of Robin yet.
Yeah.
One thing, though, is that for those of you who have seen Lego Batman or even just seen the trailers, you can see that is very much a, like, happy-go-lucky, plucky, like, bright, energetic kid version of Robin, and Nightwing is very much not that.
Yeah, a little more brooding.
Yeah, quite the badass.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I had a question for you
Yeah.
because I was talking to a couple of my friends all day about casting who we want Nightwing to be. There's a lot of talk about what age we want him to be.
Okay.
Because since we have such an old Batman, the age range can kind of be anything.
It could be.
It just has to be. I mean, Bruce is supposed to be what? Like
I think Bruce is supposed to be in his
early
late
60s.
No, probably late 40s. I think he's supposed to be about Ben Affleck's age, which I think is late 40s.
Okay.
So I think he's been doing it for about 20 years. Wasn't that something they said?
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so we imagine he's maybe closing in on 50.
Yeah.
But so you could have a Robin theoretically that's maybe 15 years younger than him.
Yeah.
So I guess in his 30s. Yeah, that makes it kind of tough.
Who
are some of the
it could
names
be anyone.
Yeah, it could be anyone. Who are some of the names that you guys were throwing around?
The two that I've seen the most get thrown around over the past like 2 years of people wanting a Nightwing movie are I'm gonna check my phone because I forgot both their names already. Milo.
Oh, Ventimiglia.
Thank you.
Yeah, from Heroes, and then This Is Us.
Yeah, he's always been thrown around because he has that like. It's basically like his hero's character, kind of serious.
I could see it working.
Brooding. And then the other one is who's the kid from Walking Dead?
The kid?
Not kid. The Stephen Huan.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's always been talks about having kind of a more Asian Nightwing.
Yeah, I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah, which could be pretty cool.
The one that I would want to see most, I don't know if you know who Matt Bomer is.
Oh, he's the third one on my list. Of course I fucking know who Matt Bomer is.
God damn you,
he's
Matt
the most
Bomer.
gorgeous man in the world.
I mean, because, okay, for me personally, the only proper way to cast Nightwing is basically, instead of doing headshots, to just have butt shots.
That's exactly what I was talking about before.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know whose job it is to cast that role, but I'm very envious of them. But Matt Bomer will fit that bill perfectly.
Oh my gosh, so much. And then if we're going younger,
sorry, I got distracted.
No, it's totally understandable. You can
continue.
Just lose yourself in those eyes. It's who's the kid from Maze Runner, Dylan O'Brien.
Oh, I like him a lot.
Yeah. If
too young for Nightwing.
So
maybe?
so that's what I'm trying to figure out because we have a dead Robin already in that universe.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if this is what if this is a flashback movie?
Well, wait, you mean the Nightwing movie?
Yeah.
I feel like if they, I'm not sure what the movie will be about. I feel like a good way to go would be to kind of do the Old Wounds episode of New Batman Adventures, where we explain how he went from being Robin to being Nightwing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a good way to go. I'm not sure if that's going to do or not, but I imagine that whoever they cast, though, will be they would cast someone for current timeline, because that character will be in The Batman, which is going to be, I'm assuming, set after
That makes sense, yeah.
Justice League. But then again, who fucking knows?
Yeah, no one has any
None
clue
of this
what's
makes any
happening in this
goddamn
world.
sense. It's all just craziness.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Matt Bomer is definitely like number one option for me. Stretch goal, I'd love to see Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
Because he was great as the voice.
He is great as the voice.
And Under Red Hood.
Yeah. Oh, that could possibly work.
I just don't think like Matt has the more athletic body. Like, Neil Patrick Harris is very slender.
Yeah.
And he has kind of the like comedy quips that we see Nightwing do sometimes.
But I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know. It's hard for me to get excited about any of these at this point, though.
I know. I mean, Nightwing is such a fan favorite. It makes sense that this is where they're going to go, because they know they're losing the fanboys now. Like they're losing the people who jump started the comic book world, or the film world, and so I think them announcing this is like, hey, come back. We're still trying to reach you guys. We're not just trying to pander to the public. But they are.
I don't know. They've basically lost me at this point. Like, literally the only reason I'm seeing the DC movies this year is because we're doing it for the crossover podcast. That's all the only reason. They just don't get it.
I know. And the other big problem is I'm happy it's a Nightwing movie, but it's another Batman franchise. And it makes sense financially that Batman has been kind of the biggest success character throughout the years. Like, obviously it's Batman and Superman. And then has DC made another live action?
I mean, they had the Green Lantern, which didn't work. They had Catwoman, which didn't work. But again, that's still a Batman property. I think that their problem is they don't get tone. Right. Like, if I'm more excited to go see a Doctor Strange movie, having never read a single Doctor Strange comic in my entire life, than I am to go see Batman and Superman duke it out on screen, someone's doing something right, and someone's doing something wrong.
Right.
And so every time they announce something now, I'm like, oh, cool, I get to go watch a movie where they just take great pieces and then shit over all the rest of it and it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah. But at least we have the animated series.
At least we have the animated world. It's still kicking. We had Lego Batman, did great.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
God, I did go see it again, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you pick up anything new the second time around?
There's actually one thing I picked up that I hadn't the first time, but I don't remember what it was, and I actually ended up falling asleep through about half of it because it was like a super late showing, and it was reclining chairs, and I was very comfortable.
Fine. Totally understandable.
Yeah. But I did have fun with it. As you can tell, there's the Batmobiles on my desk right now.
Yeah, I've been rolling it around as we're recording.
But
did you notice? I don't know if we talked about this in the group podcast. Did you notice Captain Boomerang in the background?
No. Oh wait, yes I did.
Yeah, he was hiding in a couple scenes. That made me happy.
Oh, now it's really bugging me. What was that thing I caught the second time that I didn't the first? I will eventually think of it.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Yeah, as we talk about the show, the actual thing we're here to talk about.
Right.
Maybe I'll remember it.
I mean, we're still on brand. It's still Batman.
It's still all Batman. Yeah, we're the Batman guys.
Yeah.
But so we're on Penguin here.
Yes.
I just gave up on trying to find
no, that's fine.
Birds of a feather.
The first real Penguin episode we have. The only other one has been I have Batman in my basement.
Oh, the one with Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that.
And again, we have I think my most hated Batman character ever is in this episode.
Veronica Vreeland?
No, she's fine. The guy.
Oh, Pierce?
Oh my God.
That, like, I don't know, Veronica.
It's such an over stereotype of, like, the posh rich man.
Yeah, I had a thought, too, like, where did that start? And I meant to do some research on it. I got caught up doing other stuff. But also, how do you, like...
Yeah, because where did the...
I don't even know where you would start with that. I mean, maybe...
Well, it's a post-transition from the, like, mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah.
So it had to have been somewhere.
Gilligan's Island, maybe? Was it the Millionaire?
I never watched Gilligan's
I
Island.
actually don't think I've ever seen it either, but I know of the show. But like, there was the millionaire on the island who I think spoke with that kind of very upper crust voice. I mean, because I can think of other characters, or like Ted Knight's character, Judge Smales, in Caddyshack too, right? That very
yeah.
But that specific voice, though, like that's if you feel like that is
just like an asshole
somebody,
rich man. Yeah,
and I don't know who. And I looked up the voice of Pierce, and it's this guy Sam McMurray, who he just pops up in tons of stuff in small roles. I can try and list them, but for you, Cameron, it's easier to show you the picture. I'm sure you recognize the face.
Okay, yeah, he's familiar.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that's in a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
He was the new husband in Santa Claus.
Is that what?
He's the psychiatrist.
No. That's
No?
Judge Reinhold. Yeah, trust me on that one. That's
Right.
That's Judge Reinhold. No, this guy. What I recognize him from. He was Chandler's boss, I think.
In Friends.
In Friends,
Okay.
yeah. That's the only thing that's coming off the top of my head. Otherwise, I'd have to do some look through here.
I don't know.
Anyways, yeah, that guy's voice drives me nuts.
Yeah. The other weird stereotype we see, and we've seen it before, and I'm also curious where this comes from, is the overly seductive redhead. Because a lot of these feel very, like a lot of this episode feels like it could have been in the Poison Ivy episode, the Two-Face episode from the very beginning. But yeah, I'm because I know where the dumb blonde and the like nerdy brunette originated from, but I never learned the redhead.
I mean, Jessica Rabbit comes to mind, but I feel like it must have existed somewhere before then.
Yeah, because she's like the over stereotype of that.
Yeah, the kind of in some ways, like the pinnacle. You kind of do anything from that point on, and it just feels like you're rehashing something else. I don't know where these came from, but I wonder
if it also came from Three's Company, because that's where the other two came from.
I don't.
Charlie's Angels? Was there a redhead in the original Charlie's Angels?
There've been so many versions of Charlie's Angels.
I know, but during the tit time hour, what was the 80s?
The what?
There was my film teacher in college. I don't remember what he called it, but it was like Jiggle TV. That's what it was.
Okay, so like Charlie's Angels,
Wonder Woman TV show.
Okay, yeah,
and there was one more, but it's the time when
Three's Company, I'm assuming, or maybe that's
Three's Company kind of introduced it. I think it's Three's Company started to fade when Jiggle TV started to become more popular.
I'm looking up Jiggle TV.
I hope something comes up.
It does. There's a Wikipedia article, Jiggle Television.
Okay, good.
Honey West, The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Beverly Hills 90210, Melrose Place, Charmed. I think this is just anything that's okay. It originally referred to Charlie's Angels, Wonder Woman, and Three's Company, but it's basically just anything that's there to just put tits and ass on screen.
Yeah, tit time worked. It just
that worked. Yeah,
I kind of know what I'm talking about sometimes.
They came from somewhere. I don't know. I mean, this is Veronica's first appearance because she's going to be a pretty recurring character throughout the rest of the animated series.
Pierce is gone though, right?
I don't know.
I don't want to see him again.
Like I feel like that
I was
tone,
getting physically frustrated with him.
The tone of voice is burned in my brain from so many random places that I couldn't even pinpoint where else it was. But I feel like he might show up again somewhere. But yes, you're absolutely right. That guy voice grates the soul.
Yeah. All right, so we're 20 minutes.
We're 20 minutes in, and we've basically talked about
the
nothing.
episode.
But yeah, so I mean, this one it's pretty straightforward. The Penguin gets released from prison at the same time. Veronica Vreeland, high society, whatever, decides that she needs to liven up her parties a little bit because she's just so painfully out of touch with reality.
I guess because she's only had 24 invites.
Yeah, only
I guess 24 party invites that month,
and there are no charities between now and April or whatever she said.
Which is bullshit because there's always some kind of
always charity. Yeah.
For the school, for the hospital, for the science center, for the zoo.
And you'd think they'd have to have them year-round because they're constantly getting interrupted. So, like, I'm sure no charity event actually goes the plan the first time around. They probably have to do 2-3 attempts at it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her deal is, but she decides that she's going to invite the Penguin to her party to liven it up and make it energetic. And so she basically sets up a fake courtship, like takes him out to dinner.
Yeah. Well, on the reverse side, Penguin also is trying to reform himself.
Yeah, that's true.
He's trying to stray away from the criminal world.
Yeah, because I think he's realizing too that where he's gotten in life is below his own station. So he gets out of prison, expected to be a limousine, and instead he ends up on a shitty, dirty bus, and there's no one at his apartment to greet him when he gets there, and it's all dusty. And what I did think was funny is he gets to his apartment, and he just expects all the other supervillains to be there to greet him.
I thought that was like the clubhouse again.
I thought it was his place. I thought I saw Penguin shit all over the walls.
Yeah, it might have been. I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been.
How long are his prison sentences?
A couple weeks,
I guess. I mean, so he would have just gotten arrested when Almost Got Him, which again, there's a loose timeline between these,
right?
But I mean,
that isn't the one we see in the intro. He gets arrested for something else.
That's true.
In the intro.
Yeah. So this was kind of bizarre too, because the opening scene is him stealing art, I guess, to establish that he considers himself very high society. But he even says in that, like, he just got out of prison and he's robbing, and then he goes right back into prison and gets right out again. So it felt like it was a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
A bit of a time fill. But yeah, he's trying to reform himself. And what I thought was interesting is most of this episode is from Penguin's point of view.
Yeah.
And I guess that has happened a few times before, where the episode is mostly told from someone else's perspective. We get bits of Batman in there. Mm-hmm. I guess even
kind of the first part of Clayface was like that.
Yeah, first part of Clayface. Even I Had Batman in My Basement. It's basically told from Sherman's POV, Joker's favor.
Because Batman's knocked out the whole
because
time.
Batman's passed out. I feel like It's Never Too Late, the crime boss one with the trains. Isn't that kind of from someone else? Yeah. So they do it sometimes. And what I will say I like about this episode, even though it's overall kind of meh, they do make you feel sorry for Penguin.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down like 3 times, like poor Penguin.
Yeah. So Veronica takes him out to dinner and is basically just using him. But he's really into it. Like, he really likes her. He likes getting attention. He likes going to these nice restaurants. And
yeah, he feels high class again.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever been high class in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever gone into detail so far yet as to what his actual origin is in the animated series, is whether he came from money or what.
They haven't, at this point, we haven't gotten an origin yet.
No, I'm
but
not sure
we
if
see from the kind of the inflatable rubber duck kind of towards the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of just assumed it's the same origin as Batman Returns.
Yeah, that's true. There's some very obvious Returns pulls in here.
Mm-hmm. And the way he eats the fish.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I think the big thing for him too, he has a companion.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted. It kind of at the end of the episode, we see that whole thing wrap up. But
I actually really felt sorry for him. But so they go to dinner and they go outside and get accosted by some thugs, and Penguin defends himself and defends Veronica.
Yeah,
but Batman just swoops in and lassos him.
But yeah, immediately blames Penguin.
Yeah,
so he has
being a dick
an infinite number of trick umbrellas. He doesn't use them. Is that him trying to stay away from like the criminal side? Be less Penguin and be more Cobblepot?
I'm not sure if I'm even going to give them enough credit for thinking that through. I feel like they just always put an umbrella in his hand, and whatever it needs to do at the time, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like in the movie where he has like the whole bucket full of umbrellas. I always like that part. But yeah, Batman just doesn't believe him. Doesn't believe that he's trying to turn.
That he's giving up his crime life.
Yeah,
he's giving
up
the
a new
identity.
leaf.
It's actually weird comparing the 2 episodes. The first episode is him giving up his identity as a criminal, whereas the Riddler episode is him giving up his identity as a civilian.
Well, look at that. Look at that convenient thematic coincidence.
We totally planned.
It's like we try. But one thing I did think was interesting, so they go to see Pagliacci, I'm assuming is the way you pronounce it.
I have no...
It's an opera. And the only reason I spotted it... They go to the opera. But specifically... I spotted it because it's the same opera that's in the Hush comic.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I wonder, this has popped up a couple times at Batman. Is there any sort of significance? Like, is there a thematic connection between the opera itself and Batman as a character? And the short answer is no.
Good.
But it does have some thematic relevance to this, because the opening line of the opera is that, actors have feelings too, and that this show is about real people. Mm-hmm. So there's a theme in that. Also, the main character kind of gets spurned by the woman he loves, so there's that. But the idea is that, a person has feelings too, even if they're in the opera, they're a clown, in this case it's Penguin, that behind the facade, they actually have something going on. It's like, okay, there is a thematic relevance to that being in there. I don't know why it's in Hush. No fucking clue.
Makes sense here.
Here it makes sense.
It's nice to see them trying sometimes.
Yeah, they do. Well, you know, I was like, why not? Let's see what's going on here.
Right.
But then what happens there?
That's just a quick snippet.
They just
He's,
go
like,
there.
singing along with the opera.
And
Which
then,
I feel like is very, like, not high class.
No, it's not.
No,
But I mean, that's the whole point, right? He doesn't know how to be high class.
Right.
So then
she invites him to the party.
Right, Veronica's party.
And I love his interactions with the other high class
the other
members
guests.
where he's talking
Yes.
to the head of the bank. I don't remember what the
He's
bank
like,
teller
I hope
says.
you upped your security because those time release locks are quite easy to break through.
Yeah. And he talks to the mayor.
Yeah, he's chasing, what does he call him? Hammy. Chasing Hammy down the hallway.
There's some very fun interactions
Yeah.
with him and the rest of Gotham.
But then he goes out onto the patio and Bruce is out there and is basically like suspicious of him. But then Penguin, he went and bought this like nice little brooch for Veronica, and this is the moment where Bruce seems to show genuine sympathy. He's like, oh, like maybe you are
changing your ways.
Yeah.
But then unfortunately, Penguin overhears the asshole Pierce and Veronica talking about how they just invited him to stir up conflict and so they can have so they can have a good message in the paper the next day.
Yes. So then Penguin snatches Veronica and flies off on his whirly-brella.
Yep.
And then instructs Pierce to bring the ransom money. And then we get some very obvious Batman Returns references because he falls through a trapdoor into the sewer into the giant yellow duck.
Yep.
It's pulled straight from Returns. It works. I enjoyed those moments.
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah. Also, I think I didn't can get confirmation on this. I think the head of the duck is the head of Plucky from Tiny Toons.
I didn't notice.
I think it might have been.
That'd be awesome if it was. I love when they.
I'm going to
give me a
assume
little
because these are all Tiny Toons people.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say it is.
Okay.
And not look it up to confirm.
In this day and age, do we really need references anymore?
No.
We can just say what we want.
Exactly. Fuck subtlety. Actually, speaking of fucking subtlety, they go to the opera and it catches on fire because everything has to.
I did notice, kind of jumping back to Looney Tunes and Tiny Toons, he was kind of in the same getup as Bugs when he did the opera episode. The most famous Looney Tunes episode.
Because that's when Bugs has the
He's
the
on,
big coattails. The big he's the conductor.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's that, and then he has the he has the golden horns, and he's on the Pegasus.
That's right. I haven't seen
remember
those
which
in
episode
such
that
a
is
long
anymore.
time.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the most famous scene from that, and then the barbershop.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Got some classic ones.
Yeah, I thought that was I don't know if it was supposed to be a nod, but I kind of paused it, and I'm like, does every opera have like a Viking theme?
Not this one, because this one's like Italian clown themed.
Okay. Well, I mean, it felt a little Viking-ish with his helmet.
Oh,
with the
shit.
golden helmet.
Sorry, I forgot. You're right. At the end, he ends up on a dragon that's spewing fire.
Oh, yeah, it was a dragon, not a Pegasus.
Yeah, but that's not how the fire started. Like, something blew up in the rafters, and then a whole bunch of stuff fell onto the stage, and that's what caused it to light on fire. I got
really
a little lost.
Anything can start a fire in this world.
True. Fire extinguishers start fires in this world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, basically, Batman swoops in, saves Veronica, saves Pierce, saves the Penguin, right? Doesn't the Penguin?
Yeah. Well, so Penguin, he lands, so he cuts the dragon's ropes. Penguin falls. He cuts through the back.
Oh, the curtain. Yeah.
And he lands and he's fine. And then the curtain falls on him and he's knocked out.
Oh, that's right.
And I'm like, the physics of this don't fit well.
They rarely do. I mean, the flight path of that dragon makes no sense.
Well, I mean, just that moment of he stood up and was fine, and then he was hit with cloth, and then he was not fine.
That's what finally took him down.
Yeah, that was the final punch.
Oh God, yeah. So then it all basically wraps up.
Yeah, there was the sad line at the end. So I guess his ransom was he wanted $1 million from Veronica.
Okay, yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, all I really wanted from you was friendship, and that didn't have to cost you anything.
Yeah. And she, even though she is kind of positioned as the antagonist in a lot of ways in this episode, even she's like, well, I did start to actually enjoy your company.
Yeah. I don't think he believed her.
No, I mean, why would he?
Right. I think this is almost, I connect this a lot to the Two-Face episode.
Okay, yeah.
From what I remember, this is kind of the turning point from when he goes to petty thief to like business criminal. Because I don't think he owns the Iceberg Lounge yet.
No, that doesn't happen until the new Batman Adventures.
Okay. But I think this is kind of the turning point where he starts to be more of the businessman.
Yeah.
And less of the just two-bit crook.
And well, I think, too, maybe they're finding their footing with the character a little bit. Because remember, that was a note we were talking about with I Have Batman in My Basement, where they didn't know what to do with Penguin. Because
right.
he had they didn't find his niche, and so that's why they have, like, his design looks just like the Returns, but he's still kind of an urbane criminal. And I think here they're now trying to get their footing, like, okay, he's the sophisticated criminal. Even in Almost Got Him, right? He's the one who's clearly got the intellect.
Right.
But he has to show it off to everybody. And to try and... He doesn't have to prove himself smart like Riddler does, though, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to prove himself smart. I think he's trying to prove himself as fancy.
That's true.
Or as, as high class.
Yeah. So there's no, never mind.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It was an okay episode.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. Any other thoughts on this before we roll into?
Did you notice all of the really bad bird puns? Not even just puns, just like phrases, bird phrases.
Did I?
It's like what kind of plan are you trying to hatch here?
Oh, God, I missed all of those. I missed puns?
Bruce said something about like he's gonna like you need to be careful about your roost.
Oh,
these are so unnecessarily forced.
Oh my God. I mean, okay, those are forced.
Yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest, though. They're not as forced as every single riddle in What Is Reality.
I don't care. I loved this episode.
Oh, my God.
The ending did not make me very happy. But I have like a list because I love seeing I think I talked about this before. No, I talked about kind of a different subject. I love seeing the progression of VR. In media.
In pop culture. Oh,
yeah,
my God.
And it's so great. And seeing this, like, everyone has their own idea of kind of the physicalization of the digital world.
Yeah.
I love seeing it, kind of starting with Tron and going to this, into like Matrix, into Digimon, into Summer Wars, into Sword Art, into there was one episode of Community, which does it. I think one of my favorite iterations because it's so funny.
I mean, it was inevitable we were going to get a VR episode.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a single 90s cartoon or even show that didn't have some sort of like weird video game VR thing going on at some point?
Hey Arnold did not.
I was just thinking about that's actually the first one that came to my mind.
Rugrats
maybe
did not. Most of Nick's shows, I don't think so.
Didn't it really?
No, Rugrats. No, they never played games in Rugrats.
I don't know.
They were babies. They couldn't operate video games.
I don't know. I haven't seen that in such a long time, man.
I mean, they have like a Star Wars-y episode when Kimmy comes along, but that's as close as I can think of.
Okay, but a lot of these shows had some sort of VR thing going on.
There's also last one reminded me a lot of the very first episode of Fairly Odd Parents.
Wait,
the
Riddler episode? What is
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's when Timmy wishes he could be inside his video game. And it's a similar kind of theme.
Have I never actually seen the pilot for?
It was the two-parter. It was Power Surge is part 1, and that's when he's in the game, and it requires a lot of energy, and so Vicky is trying to turn the TV on.
Okay.
And every time she does, the power goes out. So Cosmo and Wanda are trying to keep the power running, and then it was.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't remember the name of part 2, but it's when he basically does the big movie where he wishes to be an adult.
Oh, okay.
And
that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, been a long time on that one.
I mean, it came out in 1998. It's fine.
Dear God.
99? I think 99. Butch Hartman just had a new show come out recently, so I've been going back through his backlog.
Okay. Sorry, I got lost in the realization that was almost 20 years ago.
Yep. And it's still going. They have a very odd release schedule, but yeah,
they're still doing Fairly Odd Parents?
They are.
What?
Yeah. They've added...
Fucking news to me.
Did you ever meet Poof? Did you watch that?
Is it their baby?
Yeah.
I've seen him. I don't know if I've ever seen any episodes.
Okay. So Poof is there, and then there's now a dog.
Of course.
Magic dog. I don't know his name.
How dare you?
I haven't watched any of the episodes in the past 4 years.
Also, how dare you?
I know. I'm ashamed of myself.
Call yourself a real fan.
And now there's also a girl who I think either knows about the fairies or also has fairies.
Okay.
I don't know her situation, but I see her in all of the cover arts now.
What?
Because I follow Butch Hartman on Instagram and on Snapchat, and he always posts the title card of each episode before it comes out. Yeah.
Get with it, man.
I'm sorry.
Keep up on your Fairly Odd Parents.
I'm letting the world down.
God, you've rewatched Avatar and Korra 3 times and haven't watched all of Fairly Odd Parents.
3 times is such a low number.
Oh, God. Anyway. What is reality?
Virtual reality.
Stupid-ass episode. Just going to put it out there.
I had fun until the ending.
Did not care for it.
I love riddles so much.
Okay, so... I'll let you lead this one through here because me trying to explain the plot will just result in a series of me getting angry.
Well, I guess the quick one-line plot is Riddler is trying to get rid of his Enigma identity.
Okay, but is he actually though?
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, so yes, you're right because it starts out and there's issues at an ATM. So I guess that means he's going after his bank records. They never really go back to why he fucks with an ATM.
Right.
And then the stock ticker, also, don't ever explain why that's happening. The DMV, that one they do explain. Mm-hmm. And then the police station.
Makes sense.
So, yes, so he's trying to erase his digital footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know what those early ones have to do with anything.
Yeah.
So I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he is compelled to always have to do riddles in any sort of crime.
Yeah.
Which further proves what a terrible villain he is because...
Nope, he's great.
Because if you were genuinely trying to erase his identity, you do that on the sly rather than making a big deal out of it.
But that we talked about this on the last Riddler episode where he's physically incapable of doing crime without leaving his footprint.
I mean, this show is too short for them to hang a lantern onto that, but I feel like that kind of needs to be addressed at some point. Batman needs to go man, he'd be a lot better at this if he weren't compelled to have to leave clues.
I would have never known if he didn't leave 3 clues for me to find.
Because it's I guess my problem with this episode is that so it plays out in a sequence. What is it? How does Batman end up at the DMV?
So the first riddle is where does a 500-pound sleeping gorilla sleep?
Yeah,
and then it was what is scarier than a millipede or something?
A 5-legged millipede, and then something about 5 elephants in a car.
Yeah, how do you fit?
A flat-footed millipede. But
how do you fit 5 elephants?
Yeah, exactly. So you take those numbers, you make them the Roman numerals, and it spells out the DMV.
Yeah.
So Batman goes to the DMV, almost gets blown up by a truck, and then the payphone goes off, and it's the Riddler. I forget what he tells him. He gives him some sort of other riddle, but then 4 quarters and a penny drop out of the machine. And that the logic stretch from that change to police headquarters.
Yeah.
It was 4 quarters. It's head. It's not tails. It's head. So it's heads. Oh, they're headquarters. There's $1.
I know. When I thought head,
change.
I was thinking head of the police force.
Well, it's both of that. I mean, it's as forced of a riddle as the old '60s TV show when it's
it's great.
Yeah, Russian people, Russians. It's that bad. And so then they go to police headquarters where a giant machine has been delivered that Robin discovers is a VR simulator. Why the fuck would you put on the VR helmet if you know it's a trap from the Riddler?
Because he said that he went through all the software and this was not connected to the internet in any way.
He did say it wasn't plugged in the phone line, but then this thing has Wi-Fi?
No,
apparently?
So it has hardware. So they do a nice little distinction between software and hardware, which I really appreciated from the early 90s. he had hardware attached to it that let him kind of bypass whatever security they had. I didn't fully understand it.
Didn't really make sense because
I just accepted this world.
It was like, oh, it has. He didn't use the word wireless, but it was like it had a hardwired modem or something like that in itself, which I don't know. It didn't make any goddamn sense.
I didn't look. You're the engineer. I didn't think about that.
Barely. And so my problem with it though is then the whole scheme. Okay, so if he's trying to get rid of his identity, he's achieved that. So then his secondary scheme is to kill Batman inside of the VR machine. What is he trying to accomplish with the VR machine? Because he waits until it's just Commissioner Gordon to trap him in there, but then Commissioner Gordon just becomes bait for Batman to go in, and he tries to kill him in it.
I guess. I think he was more trying to kill Gordon.
I don't think so, because if he were trying to kill Gordon, he just would have let Gordon die inside the machine. Gordon's used as bait for Batman to come in.
Yeah.
So who is he actually trying to kill here? What is he actually trying to accomplish?
I think he's just because before this, in this world, he's a game designer.
Yeah.
And so I think this is him just like kind of
okay.
showing that he is still like this is his last feat as Nigma. He's making the best virtual reality game there is. And
they do bring back the last episode and how Nigma's still pissed at Batman for kind of spoiling his efforts to kill Mockridge. Mm-hmm. My problem with this episode is that the plot works if you're going forward. If you then go back and try and figure out what the grand plan was, it doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it's a turn your brain off episode, and I love those sometimes.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a Riddler episode. It should be smart.
Yeah.
Like, to its credit, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? That holds up. Mm-hmm. Like, his scheme basically works, and he doesn't get away with it, but he gets away. So it all kind of works. He's supposed to be super smart. It all makes sense.
I know. I was a little upset that he didn't get away in this episode.
Yeah, if anything, it has a super bleak ending.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense when you know that he comes back again later. But, I mean, this is kind of like, and don't get me wrong, these are good movies, and I enjoyed them a lot, but like Skyfall and The Dark Knight, where when you watch it in one direction, you're like, okay, you can see how the one bit leads to the next, and you go back and look at like the overall plot, the scheme, you're like, well, this doesn't hold up at all. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. That's this episode.
But virtual reality, Chris.
But the riddles are
virtual reality.
The riddles are so stretched.
I looked past everything when they said the virtual reality machine. I'm like, all right, I'm on board. This is now a good episode.
Oh god, and even the stuff in the VR simulator is so bizarre.
I know, it's so, like I said, I love the physicalization of the digital world. It's so fascinating how, because this takes on more of an Escher stance.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of just this infinite world.
But there's so many stupid things. Like, he opens the door, it's like, what was it? It was, crazy intent, don't open that, because it means it's a locomotive and a train rolls through.
Yeah.
It's all that.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
I really should give up trying to argue with you on good quality cinema.
No, like I said, once I saw it was virtual reality, I'm just like, I'm down. There's even a part before this when he's being chased down by a car. This is an ACOM episode.
Okay.
Besides this one moment, it's pretty well animated.
Yeah, for the most part.
But I assume this is still cell shading or cell animated, which means the background is painted differently from the foreground.
Yeah.
There's a scene. It's brief, but the foreground and background don't line up, and
really?
Batman is just floating on top of the ground, and it frustrated me like none other. God. Like I said, it's less than 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but
you know
I was
look
just
for these things.
Staring
all
at
this
it.
stuff flies in my head, and you always pick up these little things.
Well, because you could see the shadow was so far under him, and it bugged me. But like I said, virtual reality made it all better. I liked the cool like red overtone.
Yeah.
The sick Batman suit when he becomes the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. Like I said, so the VR ending is Batman kind of figures out that since it's a digital program, he can just duplicate himself.
Yes.
Kind of like the Smiths from
the Matrix. Yeah.
Enigma's like, oh, well, I can do that too. And then Batman's like, oh, but if you do that, then you can't concentrate on keeping the world built. And then the world just kind of fell apart. This is the other thing. There's one other thing that kind of bugged me with this. the last thing, because nothing else is wrong with this episode.
Right. It's flawless.
It's flawless. When the Chinese puzzle box, the Baxter box, I think is what they call it, when it falls to the ground, he's like, okay, you have to solve this. Batman has solved countless riddles before this.
Yeah.
But he looks at this, is like, no, I'm just going to break it.
Yeah. I'm just going to turn my fists into hammers.
Yeah.
And
I
beat the
thought
shit
it
out of
was
this
funny and also a little frustrating of like, you're the smartest person here.
Yeah.
You can just solve it. If Robin can solve it, you can solve it. Why do you just want to break it?
I think maybe that's part of my
But
problem.
that was the only thing wrong with
I mean,
this
that's
episode.
part of my problem too. Is like the riddles didn't feel like riddles. Like in the last one, there were actual riddles to be solved. In this one, it's kind of the lazy writing they did with Batman Forever too, where it's like there are riddles that lead to clues, which are really obvious answers, and it's like wordplay, not riddles. They're not the same thing,
Right.
And I do love me some wordplay, but he's not the word player.
Nope.
God, even that was that wasn't even intended to be a joke on my part. I'm still embarrassed by it.
No, it's fine. That'd be something Riddler would say.
Yeah. Oh.
Haha.
It wounds so deep. But this also, so they get Gordon out, and like the machine breaks, but the Riddler has once again left them a clue as to where he is. How did that work again? It was it doesn't matter. It was a stretch.
Yeah, it's something about the world isn't fair.
If the world were fair, I'd still have my old job.
Yeah, and it led them to World's Fair Gotham, because
The
I
world-
guess that was a thing at some
It was a stretch,
point.
but they get there, and somehow the Riddler is still trapped inside the machine, kind of, but it's broken. So
Yeah.
he's just been sitting there frying, and his face is all aged and weird and gaunt.
Yeah, and Batman just like, oh, this sucks.
Yep. Well, basically, he's like, well, fixing him will be a riddle, won't it? It's like, the
Yeah.
dude is like,
Fix him.
he's basically like comatose in this machine,
Like
and
I
he's
said,
all
these
like
two
haggard.
episodes,
and-
these 2 episodes, Batman is such an asshole
Yeah.
to his villains.
It's a really bleak ending.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really make sense because we know the Riddler is going to pop up again later in a better episode.
Yeah.
Mind you.
That's impossible. This was the best episode.
God. Yeah. So I don't know. It just, as I was watching, I'm like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You're right. Oh, I forgot about Code Lyoko. I forgot to write that one down.
What?
Sorry, I was looking at my list of all the like VR themed TV shows
Oh, okay.
through the time, and Code Lyoko was a French-based French-based cartoon that came to Cartoon Network in 2005.
Okay.
It's really cool. It was like one of the first big, besides Jimmy Neutron, one of the first big like 3D animated shows.
Code Lyoko?
Lyoko. It's a great one. I mean, it's not great. It's okay.
Code
It's a great
Lyoko.
theme song.
Oh, I've kind of recall.
Yeah,
the
four
look. I never watched
kids
it,
at a
but
boarding school find a computer that sends them into the digital world.
Do you remember VR Troopers?
Vaguely.
From this might have even been, it would have been around Power Rangers time. It's the same idea.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yes.
Because there were like 3 versions of Power. Because it was that and then Beetleborgs, I do remember.
I do remember Beetleborgs, yeah.
Also had a great theme song.
Wait, was Beetleborgs? Wait, I was thinking of the Masked Rider. Is that the same thing?
I don't think so.
Because the Masked Rider, I remember he had like multiple suits, but he had like an awesome car and really cool like bikes and stuff. This is the Masked Rider.
No, he's different.
Oh wait, but I remember Beetleborgs now.
Beetleborgs, they
my
lived in that like
God.
haunted house thing. That's all I remember from that show. And they all had the like crescent like beetle hooks on their forehead.
Oh my. Okay, yeah, it's all. Oh, I do remember these.
Yeah, everyone was
Oh
just jumping
my
on the back
God.
of
Yeah, it's
Power
all the same
Rangers.
thing. It's all just like let's get like really cheap Japanese shows and
Yeah.
just insert English like American actors in there.
Yeah.
Same stuff. I had forgotten about Beetleborgs though. Whew.
Oh man. Yeah, that was a problem for me growing up.
Oh man, this is
It's all on Netflix.
this is special. Oh well, by all means, let me get right on that.
Yeah. So these episodes were
Yeah, they
were fine.
fine. I think. Hang on, I got the list behind me here. I think we got good stuff coming up.
We're closing in on the end of season 1.
Ooh, I Am the Knight and Off Balance are the next ones. I know I Am the Knight, if I recall, is supposed to be one of the really good ones where he like reevaluates his job as Batman. Like he kind of goes through like a crisis of conscience,
Okay.
so like that. And I don't know what Off Balance is. Oh, I think it's Count Vertigo.
Ooh, yay!
I don't know if that episode's gonna be good or not, but those are pretty exciting.
Yeah,
So
I like that villain.
as we're heading
sometimes.
into the tail end of the season here, there's some really good stuff.
Right,
coming
we
up,
still
though.
have Roz coming up. We still have Zatanna coming up.
Harley and Ivy.
Yeah,
The mechanic. Ooh, the man who killed Batman.
right.
Oh, Batgirl. Oh, yeah. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, we've got a couple good ones.
Good stuff coming in. But until we get to those, got any bat plugs?
I do. I have a different kind of bat plug.
Oh
Today.
my!
So I mentioned before that Butch Hartman has a new
Yeah.
Nickelodeon show coming out called Benson. I haven't watched it yet.
Is it about Doug Benson?
No, I wish.
God, that'd be amazing.
But he's been. I cherish this man for how smart he is of connecting to multiple audiences, because I don't know any other creator that's like jumping not just onto social media but connecting with major people from influencers.
Okay.
So like he has a pretty big presence on Snapchat. He does live Instagram interviews, but on YouTube specifically, he started doing like his own his own drawing channel, where he draws kind of other shows in his style.
What? This sounds awesome.
And he's been teaming up with a bunch of awesome other channels. So the channel that I want to plug, which I'd watched before, but this is like for the people that love this show, I'm sure that they'd love this channel. It's called Channel Frederator, and it's every week or so they find a cartoon and give 107 random facts about the show.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and so this past week, they had Butch Hartman on to talk about 107 facts about Danny Phantom.
Okay.
And as the viewers of this show know, I am obsessed with Danny Phantom. So it's so great. And there were so many things I learned. I thought I knew so much, but there's so much more.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Teenage Robot, Lego Batman, Lego Bionicle, Steven Universe. This is awesome.
Yeah. So I went through my three go-tos. I did the Danny Phantom. There's a Kim Possible one, which is super fascinating, and the Codename Kids Next Door one, it's so good.
What?
And I'd watched the Avatar one before. That's why I knew the name of the channel.
Oh, I gotta watch these.
But yeah, they're great. And yeah, just if you're
Teen Titans.
yeah, I watched them before. It's a great one.
Oh, what? This is really cool.
Yeah,
Oh god, it's gonna eat up so much of my time.
I know. I tell myself it's something I can just put on in the background, but I'm so invested in it.
No, yeah, there's no way.
Right.
Oh my. Okay, this is pretty awesome.
The Danny Phantom facts are so interesting.
Oh, I gotta watch these.
Yeah.
That is a damn good.
I think they
plug.
actually have a Batman animated series one.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my plug, Channel Frederator. And if you're into
Bob's Burgers.
Butch Hartman's stuff, follow him on various things, because he's awesome. He's a dreamboat.
God damn it! You've now made me have to put more things. So many more things in our plug section now.
Yep. I mean, I'll just post his like YouTube channel.
I know. But now I have to put in all of his social media stuff too.
I just do one of them.
No, but I'm going to.
All right,
Because I've called myself out on it on air.
I mean, it's just
He's
at Butch Hartman on everything. I'm
son of a
pretty sure he's pretty consistent.
No,
He's
I'm going to
famous enough
complain
as
about
a
having to do
creator-
a minimal amount of increased
Yeah.
work.
He's famous enough as a creator that he has all of his own tags.
You could find
He's
him.
not like Chris Hardwick, where he's at Nerdist for some unknown reason.
Not anymore.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, he handed over that to actual Nerdist.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Fine. What do you have to plug?
I started reading Ready Player One.
Oh, it's so good.
It is really good.
It's so.
Yeah.
Had you never read it before?
No, I hadn't.
Do you listen to it?
No, I always read.
Okay.
I do
Someone
podcasts. I
talks
generally don't do audiobooks. I should. It's a cool way to do it.
I've probably listened to that book 3 times,
Yeah.
3 or 4 times.
I
now.
know
It's
you've like
so
always
good.
spoken very highly of it, and so I've had it for a while. And I was on this kick of reading a whole bunch of books that I didn't really enjoy, and I was like kind of slogging my way through. And I reached a point, I'm like, no, I got to sit down and read something that I think I'm actually going to really like. And I'm not far in. I'm maybe only like 45 pages in.
What's happening?
What?
If you remember.
I mean, so he was just in the chat room with his friend
Okay.
H.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then something. I think he was in class.
Okay. So you're still in the intro.
Yeah, I'm still very much in the intro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the story hasn't even started yet.
No, not really, but it's good. I'm really
so much
liking
fun.
it.
It's just references galore.
It is. I mean, even stuff that I only know so much stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, same.
Like, I can pick up pretty much anything movie related I got covered for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of stuff, though, that I'm like, I don't even know what the hell this is.
Yeah. And I found a website. I meant to bookmark it. I'll probably find it after this podcast. That lists every reference and every kind of like Wikipedia article that'll tell you about it.
Okay.
Which was really cool.
That helps. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it helped so much.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. Like, it's literally, because obviously we go back and we love finding the little references. Like, you found the opera thing in this episode out of the full list of VR history and animation. This is just like it's set to blast with how many just like nerdy little references there are. And it's, it's one of those things where you just feel like it's written for us.
I know.
It's nice.
Because I know they're working on Spielberg's doing
an
adaptation, that's awesome. But I'm just looking at
the only big name that I remember being attached. Oh, T.J. Miller, I think, is attached to it.
Okay, so Ty Sheridan is. Wait, isn't that Cyclops? Is the main guy? So Ty Sheridan, the new Cyclops from Apocalypse, he's the main guy. Oh, Olivia Cook. Jesus, she's fantastic.
I'm just excited for Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, Mark Rylance, Ben Mendelsohn, T.J. Miller. At least on the main page, there's only names I recognize, but an excellent cast. And of course, I can't say Spielberg does no wrong, but even his movies that are less than stellar, like the BFG, are still better than most people's things. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you started this book.
Yeah. It took me a while to get through it because I usually only read whatever novel I'm reading before I go to bed. So I'll get through like 4 or 5 pages at a time. But this one's exciting enough, it might make its way into like me going around town carrying a book.
Yeah.
And probably into the crapper as well.
Oh, that's fine.
So we get most of our reading done. So
yeah,
it's better than reading the news.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to do that anymore.
All right, I think that basically does it for this week with a pretty high amount of nonsense.
That's fine. Which is pretty normal amount of nonsense, I feel like.
It's on par for us. Anything else?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I've said all I need to say.
All right. Well, then that wraps it up. So you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Instagram and Facebook and a Twitter. And I'm at Lordifer on all of those same things.
I'm at Cameron.Dexter on one of those things because I just have an Instagram.
Oh, that's right. You don't have a Twitter, huh?
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I have one, but if you just want to see a bunch of like sponsored posts.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing super exciting there.
No, it's just me. Like, I don't know do you know Fuji? I'm not going to give Fuji a plug.
Like the camera?
No, we don't need to talk about it.
Okay.
Don't follow me on Twitter.
Okay, that's fine. And then, oh, fuck. I forgot to create a pause for the, or whoever our sponsor is this week.
We'll find a pause.
I'll find a pause. I might even just put it in right here at the end. It doesn't matter.
Just cut out the whole segment of me talking about virtual reality.
But we have someone has sponsored us this week from the Nerdist School,
and we thank them so much.
Whoever they are, you are delightful. Happy to have you in our lives.
Please listen to their podcast.
Yes, exactly. And then go check out other Nerdist School things on the Nerdist School website.
We're nailing this.
Oh, so good. So professional. All right. I think I'm done now.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have you ever been listening to NPR and thought to yourself, gosh, I love the human interest aspect, the dulcet voices of the hosts, the promise of totes, but I just hate how true it all is. That's where we come in. It's This American Lie, an hour of improvised NPR. We're a lot like that other show, but we make it all up in front of a live audience every second Saturday at the Nerdist School stage. Find show and ticket information at nerdistschool.com or catch the podcast on the Nerdist School Network. Search for us on iTunes.
The Nerdist School Network. For class and show information, visit nerdistschool.com. 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 Nerdistschool.com.